best albums of 1970. Best that I have in my collection. Let's just say that. As I look to see how much I have from 1970. Not a whole lot, but I do have, I think, some of my favorites of all from that year. As I kind of look through, I'm looking and say, well, that one would be nice to have. But, this is what, as when I went through, I would say these are my top 10. There's actually 11 of them that from that year I would pick and listen to the most. Would critics agree? Of course not. But these are what I would yank out of my collection to listen to, just do it 1970s. So let's begin. I was 11 years old, so I really didn't know anything about it. I was using my money for baseball cards at that time. All funds went into baseball cards. So, but now the music. So this gets on honorable mention. And it's the Allman Brothers' Idlewood South. Really, this was to me the beginning. I mean, obviously the next year they did Live at Fillmore, but this had the songs on here. Probably the best version of Hoochie Coochie Man ever done by a white group. Okay, it was really, really good. But there's Revival, Midnight Rider, In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. Just quality stuff. Keep Me Wondering. It had tons of great stuff. People always think Fillmore, the Fillmore live album, which is incredibly good. But this thing is awesome. And you can hear them finding themselves. Putting up some of their all-time classics were on here. So definitely the honorable mention, the Allman Brothers, Idlewood South. A jazz album. Freddie Hubbard, Red Clay. This is such a incredibly good album. And there we go. On here, you have, this just says it all. Joe Henderson, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Lenny White. They are tight. This is some wonderful bebop going on. It's not that expensive to find, but I will guarantee you're going to really enjoy it. It's one of my all-time favorite jazz albums. One of these accidental buys, not really knowing just, hey, what's this? And so even, there's the one I had before the flood, after the flood. Had to have that again. So we're going to say that number 10, Freddie Hubbard, Red Clay. Number 9, I really had to think about this one because it's, but after playing these a while, I did pick Deja Vu. I wasn't going to. I don't live and die for Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but this one, because Neil Young comes in and really rounds out this album. It's a little harder now. The extra set of vocals does even more for the album. And I know they have this, the different versions of it out there, came out last year, but I really don't need it. I just need this one. And so this is a, obviously a used copy, but it plays great. And just such great stuff on here. Graham Nash, this is probably one of Graham Nash's, he had Teach Your Children in Our House. Hey, good old Joni Mitchell, let's sing about ourselves together. But Jerry Garcia played on it. John Sebastian played on it. Just great stuff. So we're going to put Deja Vu at number 9. I didn't think it would even make it, but after playing through it, I really do like that one a lot. Number 8, the scariest album, Black Sabbath, Paranoid. I think their second album. Number 2 just comes out at the gate. And an album that I stayed clear of for many, many, many years just because it was Black Sabbath and I didn't want to go to hell or something. And, it really, I had a religious upbringing, but it wasn't like you will go to hell if you listen to none of that stuff. That was just in my own. I go, yeah, this seems scary, and the guys that are all listening to it, I'm not like them whatsoever. So I don't know. I don't think I can do it. And I kind of missed out on the whole Black Sabbath thing till I hit college. And then in college, I heard this album. And I go, wow, that thing's awesome. And so I bought it. And of all the Black Sabbath, this is the one it's the only one I have. So I guess it's the one I really, really need to have. I used to have, most of them, but I had to have this one back. So Paranoid, number 8. Number 7. And Pink Floyd here, and Adam Hart Mother. When this is a nice MoFi. When this first came out, I mean, when I first got this, not when it first came out, because I would have, Pink Floyd, I would not know who they were. But when I first bought this, I bought it on CD, and it was kind of, boy, that's strange. This is the album, the Pink Floyd album, that has grown upon me. It really marked their departure from all this psychedelic, moving in a whole new direction, kind of with the concept, but with the orchestration. And through time, I have grown to truly love this album. It's very special. It is different. It's sure, but you can hear the beginnings, the beginnings of Dark Side of the Moon. It's all starting to happen as they change their directions in what they're doing. What a great Pink Floyd album that too often gets ignored, in my personal opinion. So that one's number 7. Number 6. Man. Abrix from Santana. Whew. Black Magic Woman, Oya Como Va, Se Acabo, Samba Pati. It's all on here. This rocks. The Latin rhythms are incredible. The artwork is out of this world. Santana was freaking red hot. And you could feel it in these songs. I mean, they took that Peter Green song, Black Magic Woman, and they made it their own. I mean, they owned that song. It really became their song, But the other songs, especially the ones with really strong Latin, the Latin lyrics, man, my God, this thing's incendiary. And probably it's my second favorite Santana album. Their first is my favorite. This is their second. That's my number 2 pick. They kept going strong. Okay, I think did I say that was 6? We're just going to say I did, because I'm sure I miscounted everything. Van Morrison's Moondance. He had the E Street Band also had an album that I was really trying to decide which Van Morrison is most important to me. And there's the kind of the original on there. And I went with this one because not so much Moondance. Moondance has kind of been beat, to death. But this had Stoned Me, Crazy Love, and the incredible Into the Mystic. That thing's a masterpiece. Stone Me, I just, man, that is beautiful. Brand New Day. It really, Van Morrison was finding his voice. And, we were kind of getting away from, the kind of the weirdness of Astro Week, so it's very cool. But it was not for everyone. And he was finding, I can do hits. And I can make stuff that people really, really like. And this was it. His 70s albums are, for me, the best. And it's what I need to have for Van Morrison. I don't need the rest. But the 70s I do. I missed out. I didn't buy my first Van Morrison album till, was it 1989? Is that when Avalon Sunset came? 87? But I became a fan. Number 1, 2, 4. I just can't get it figured out. Curtis Mayfield. Damn. This began really changing the landscape of soul music turning into funk music. The guitar playing on this well, it blows your mind. It's so good. And it was so, to me at that time, futuristic. James Brown had his version of funk going on. Curtis Mayfield, though, his version really caught on. And you think the movie soundtracks, and think, black boys, exploitation films. That's Curtis Mayfield happening, that music, and everyone began jumping in, and this was so copied. Move On Up is on here, Give It Up. Move On Up itself is just one of the greatest songs ever. Just such an incredible piece of work, and really this started the 70s to say music has changed, and it's Curtis Mayfield. Wow, something else. Number 3, Velvet Underground, Loaded. Man, oh God, another incredible, packed with hits. Packed with great songs that that people didn't hear. You have Sweet Jane, Rock and Roll. What a wonderful Lou Reed, fast-paced, great song. Oh, Sweet Nothing. It's just amazing. Who Loves the Sun? Does have Lonesome Cowboy Bill. Maybe not my favorite there, but there was really the last, to me, real Velvet Underground. Then Lou Reed left. I think he left even during when this was going, and Doug Yule kind of took over. But Loaded it's loaded. It's loaded with goodness, and every Velvet Underground has made my list, because that's a group that's influential to me. Number 2, this one's kind of different, but I picked this up last year, and it's one of my all-time favorites. And this is from Gerardo Manuel and Humo, and it's called Apocalypsis. Now, they did the second album. I talked about that one. I didn't like that one. This one is like psych rock goodness. I mean, it blows your mind. You can get the reissues out there. You can find them. And it is absolutely freaking incredible. I believe it's out of Peru. I think that's where Peru was just knocking out the cool music at that time. It was incredible what was coming out of Peru. Some of the stuff between the garage rock and the psych and everything. But Gerardo Manuel, cool album cover. But this thing, I just put it on, and you can just play it again and again, and I have not tired of it. And just, what a psychedelic, rocky blues masterpiece. Great. A lot of you may not have heard. If you haven't heard of that, check it out. Stream it or whatever. It's like, wow. If that's your deal. If you don't like psych, don't do it. Unless you want to try it. Number 1. I showed number 1 in 69 because when I was going through my list, I was looking to see, okay, what all came out in that year. I'm telling you, this came up. This came up. But then after, wait, that's 1970. And so far, every time I've done one of these, I've done that. So I don't know which one of these is 71. I'm sure one of them is. But so we show it again because it's like, one of my top 5 favorite albums of all times, and it changed the face of music. It was everything like Curtis Mayfield changed soul music, bringing it into the funk stage. Same here. This was bringing jazz into the funk stage, and finally, ooh, that's kind of neat. Finally, sorry, I digress. Finally, fusion was happening, but this really said, it's okay, let's do it. You know what? And it did. It opened the doors. Other people were experimenting with it, but not getting anywhere. It took Miles Davis to come in and say, we are now changing the course of jazz. And it did. And it absolutely did. And just made this incredible masterpiece of album. So you just can't go, God, that's kind of cool. You just can't go wrong with this. Again, one of my all-time favorite albums ever. There's a number of all-time favorites in there. So there we go, 1970. That's what I got. Guess we'll start looking at what the hell came out in 71. So thanks for watching. Have a great one. Bye.